Hey, what's up everybody? It's Sam here with your daily business boost video. Now in this video I wanted to talk to you about following a plan versus following a strategy. So a plan is good and it's going to get you places, there's no doubt about that whatsoever. But strategies are going to get you a lot further because strategies have a lot more depth and a lot more value to them than plans actually do. So what I wanted to do, I've got some notes here, obviously, that I want to make sure I follow so I don't miss anything that I planned out that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So the very first thing that I wanted to discuss is the fact that, we should follow successful people's plans. But the problem with that is that we don't know the strategies. Now, I actually do this, right? Especially earlier on. It was a big mistake that I made, is that I was following a number of different people's plans. And that was something that I learned from Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins talks a lot about seeing the people that are successful at what it is that we want to do and then modeling what it is that they do so that we can get the same results. Now, that's all good and well, but here's the thing. Following what we see is more like a plan, but what we don't actually see behind it all is a strategy, right? And so that's where we kind of fall short with our results, is because we don't realize why it is that they're getting much better results than we actually are. Yeah, and the reason being is that because if we follow an iceberg analogy, we're following the tip of it all, but we don't actually see the real the 80-90% mass behind it that's underlying beneath the actual surface. So if that makes sense, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. But look, this is the reason I've got the board out today, obviously, which doesn't happen very often. But I wanted to share with you guys the actual iceberg analogy. So hopefully you can capture everything. Hopefully you can see everything now. Excuse me. I am the next Da Vinci, right? Like, so my drawing is on point. It's absolutely brilliant. You're gonna love this. So if we look at like the iceberg, right, as the analogy. All right, don't say anything. This is an iceberg, okay? And it's legit. I hope you guys can actually see it. I know it's the light's a bit bright there, so maybe if I draw it over here, it might actually be a bit better. I'm trying to make sure that I see it. Okay, that's a little bit better. Not that great, but anyway, look. So basically, this here is an iceberg, right? And this is what we tend to do. We see the results, right? And we don't really understand the strategy behind it all. So this here, right? This is surface level stuff, and what we're actually seeing here, this here is what we see, right? And what this is the plan. Yeah. So people tend to follow the plan. And so what we're seeing is like 10 to 20%, right? The results, the really cool outcomes, all that sort of stuff. And we want to do obviously the same thing. What we don't see, however, is all of this in here. All of this down here, the 80 to 90% of the work, right, is actually the strategy, right? This is the strategy behind it all. And this is what we're missing. We're missing the actual strategy, all of the work that goes into everything. So this is a big thing when it comes to following plans and following strategies. You see here, you can follow the plan, and this is like 10 to 20% of it all. But then you're missing all the strategy behind it, right? So you're missing like 80 to 85, 90% of the value that's really going on here. So here's the thing, guys. When it comes to following a strategy or a plan, obviously following a plan is better than doing absolutely nothing. All right, let's not get that wrong. But it is a lot better to have a plan. And again, the idea is, majority of us, and you can just go to your inbox to verify this. Majority of us, if we go into our email inbox, we'll see that we've got emails, coming from multitudes of experts, right, or gurus out there for different things, And so what we tend to do is we tend to read all of these emails and we get all these ideas, these plans of what we need to follow. You should do this, you should do that, and that's great. But what actually happens is we get confused because there's so many people's plans that we're following. Not only are we only getting 10% of the actual value that you see up here, but we're missing the 80, 90% of all of the strategy that's sitting down here. And on top of that, to kind of throw gasoline into the fire, we end up as well following. We end up following 7 or 8 different people. So not only are we creating surface value results, but we're also confusing it because we're mixing in different types of people's strategies, right? So what we really want to do is we really want to focus on one. So here's the thing. When we're actually given a strategy, we tend to go into self-doubt mode or unwilling to do mode. And what that actually is We're actually given a strategy. We look at the strategy and we're like, shit, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that, or you'll come up with it, and there's a multitude of ways that this will come out. This will come out in ways of, I don't have the time, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the expertise, I don't have the experience, I don't have the money, right? These are all just alibis, guys. These are all excuses that you're using to stop yourself getting the results that you really, really want. This 80% of stuff down here, that's where the value is really, really at. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. When it comes to business, it's a roller coaster. It's not a straight line. We think, oh, we'll start here, right? This is point A, and we want to get to point B. And basically, we want to move every day. We want to move closer, and it's just a straight line. But the fact of the matter is, that's not how it goes. This is where we start. This is where it ends, and this is what actually happens, right? We're up and down, up and down, and eventually we get there, right? Even though we think and we want it to just be straight there, right? That's ideal, very unrealistic. Most people fail, I remember reading something once in a book that in order, majority of millionaires, I think it was like 80 or 90% of millionaires, failed. Let me rephrase that. The average millionaire, right, has 7 sources of income, right? So they don't rely on one. And then on top of that, the average millionaire had 4 or 5 failed businesses prior to hitting their million, right, before they had their breakthrough. And again, this is where the importance of the mindset comes through, of understanding that failure is part of growth, and that in order to grow, we must fail first. The idea is to fail forward. Make your mistakes, understand this roller coaster that you're going to go through. It's not going to be a straight line, right? Understand that there's going to be times where you spend a couple of hours and you still can't figure it out, right? And you're going to get pissed off and you're going to want to break your screen. That's normal, okay? But trust the process, right? And so what I'm going to advise you is to trust your work. What I honestly say is you want to stop following 7 to 8 people. Follow one. That's what I did, and that's when my business started to turn around. I stopped following so many people because it was freaking confusing. What I started doing instead is I started following one person. I did my research, right? I realized, I looked into the market that I wanted to get into, right? And I looked at all the different opportunities, and then I looked at all the different people as well that were doing well in those different opportunities. And I basically broke it down to 3 different things that I wanted to do. And then I looked at the top sort of 10 people in each of those businesses. And then I kind of was like, okay, so which one do I want to be like the most? I started asking questions, I started sending emails, I started following. This was literally like a legit 6 to 9 month process. And by the time I actually bought the first course, it was over a year. And the reason I did that is because I learned from my earlier mistakes of spending money and jumping into things too quickly, that can actually be a bad thing. Now, obviously, taking too long is a bad thing as well. But what I would say is do your research, right? Look into what it is that you want to get into. Or at the very least, follow people for a little while and make sure they do what they actually said that they're going to do. Then you know that they're reliable. Then you know that you can actually trust on them and the strategy in which that they're going to follow. And once you find them, get all in, get involved in whatever opportunity it is that they're involved in, get involved with, buy their courses, get their, pay for their coaching and that sort of stuff. That's what I did. When I found my guy, I bought his first course, which was like $100 US. And then I went on to buy a more expensive course. I think it was like $2,000 US, or $2,500 US. And then I bought his coaching, which was $5,000. And man, that was honestly the difference for me. I found one person, I got all the way in with what he was doing, right? So at that point, I'd spent almost $8,000 on his stuff, because I did buy a couple of other things as well. I just can't remember the prices, and I don't want to throw random numbers at you. So it was almost $8,000 US that I had invested at that point to find one guy. And then once he gave me the strategy, I've stuck to that strategy, right? And that's what's given me the results. I wish I was more consistent with it. I'd get much better results. But that's part and parcel of the game, of learning how to be so self-disciplined that you can actually do this thing yourself from home, okay? So there's 2 questions you really need to ask yourself on a day-to-day basis if you really want to make a difference in your business, you really want to start getting results. And that is, who is the market that you're serving? right? And now that's one question, but there are 7 other questions that come with it. And if you want those 7 questions, simply comment info on this video and I will inbox you those 7 different questions, or a way to get them anyways, okay? Because those 7 questions are really going to help you out. I'm talking things like who are they? What are they looking for? Why are they online? What are they frustrated about? Why don't they sleep at night? What are they doing online? These kinds of questions that really help you dive in and understand your market and what it's all about. Okay. The second question is a question you really want to answer at the end of the day. You want to ask, did I impact or help someone today? Did I actually make a difference in somebody else's life? And that can be done on a personal level. That can be done on a business level, right? But this is obviously a business stream. So you obviously want to make a difference in someone, because it's the only way that you're going to present value to the market enough that someone's actually going to be willing to pay for you and help build what it is that you're actually doing. I know for me, myself, there's different ways of checking whether you've actually made a difference. You want to check if people like your video, if they share them. Do they like your post? Do they comment on it? Did someone inbox you and say, hey, look, thanks so much for that video. Thanks so much for that blog post. Thanks so much for that, that value post that you put out on Facebook today. Really helped me out. That's when you know you're impacting. That's when you know you're making a difference. And that's when you know you're following a good strategy, because it is just a matter of time. If you were to make those impacts every single day, one impact, one like, one share, one comment, one inbox, one conversation, that's when you know you're making a difference, all right? That's when you know that you're on your way, that you've got the right strategy, that you're actually making a difference. Focus completely on helping people and what it is that they're doing, and you'll soon notice the difference in your business and the results that you're getting. You absolutely deserve to get the success that you're putting the work in for. Just make sure that you're following an in-depth plan or a worthwhile strategy so that you're actually doing the right thing. All right, so look, I'm going to put a link in this video at the end of this video that's actually going to allow you to get my 8-step plan to show you the step-by-step process that I'm following to build my 6-figure business. More importantly, it is a blueprint that I literally got from my 7-figure mentor on how he built his $1 million business. So this is a real plan. This is a real strategy that you can follow if you're willing to put in the work that's going to make a hell of a difference for you and your business. It's what I've followed to make my money, right? And it's what I'm going to follow all the way through to 6 figures. I plan on riding this baby until I hit my 7-figure year, right? Which will be in 2020. So I thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. I really appreciate you. If this video made any sort of sense at all, give me some sort of an emoji. Those love emojis are pretty cool. Makes you feel good when you see that sort of stuff. And if you want it straight away, just go ahead and inbox me. Otherwise, I will have this link up very, very shortly where you can get that 8-step plan to really help build your business following a legit strategy that's going to make a difference in 2017. Okay, so thank you so much for stopping by and watching today's Daily Business Boost. I'm out. Remember, follow the iceberg, but make sure that you're following the strategy, not just a little bit of plan up at the top there that you see, all right? So take care, much love, and I'll see you again tomorrow.